Good afternoon. We are live from Broadcasting House in Accra. My name is Winifred Efum. Welcome to News Hour. The Ghana Health Service and the Ghana Education Service have both observed with concern how students have mistaken iron folate supplements for contraceptives or birth control pills. This is because the color, shape and size of the pills look similar to those of the supplements. And so some teenage girls take such pills hoping to prevent pregnancy and rather get disappointed. Interestingly, the public has, out of ignorance, accused the GES and Ghana Health Service, who have been spearheading the iron folate supplementation among girls, of encouraging teenage pregnancy among students. Meanwhile, the supplement is meant to reduce the risk associated with anemia.
A section of the general public claims that we are giving girls tablets to make them infertile in future. Another section of the public claims we are giving girls tablets to make them pregnant. There are also misconceptions about the tablet making the girls eat too much and therefore gaining weight. But the tablet is a supplement. It is iron and folic acid. It is safe for girls. It is not a family planning pill. Neither is it a fertility pill. What it does is boost the health and well-being of the girls.
If you take the family planning pills, usually there's the actual family planning pills, the hormonal pills, which is like 21, and then you have some extra line, which in the past was a placebo. So they are not hormonal. You just take it, but it doesn't give you this family planning effect per se. But then with time, a lot of pharmaceutical companies have replaced that placebo tablets with iron. And so you see that the color of the supplements we are given, which is also iron combined with folic acid, is quite similar to the iron that you see on the family planning pill, the 7. And so because the color and then the nature of it looks the same, a lot of mothers or caregivers concluded that we're giving the children family planning pill.
Meanwhile, over 1 million girls in and out of school have been enrolled onto the Girls Iron Folate Supplementation Program as of 2019, since it began in 2017. The supplement, a combination of iron and folic acid, is administered to girls who have started menstruating. Joining us via Zoom is the Acting Deputy Director of Nutrition at the Ghana Health Service, Madam Veronica Korte. Good afternoon, Madam. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to join you this afternoon.
Great. But why would the girls mistake the iron folate as a birth control pill? What were they told when they were being given the pills?
Yes, it so happens that the family planning pill that we have on the market, some of them has a roll that contains some brown tablets that resembles the tablets, the iron and folic acid supplements that we give to the girls. For instance, if you look at the family planning pill, this is how it is. The sachet is like this. It contains 3 rows of pills which are hormones. And a woman is supposed to take this each day for 21 days. After that, there is a roll of brown pills which are actually not part of the family planning pill. They are iron, which is supposed to supplement the woman to improve her blood status after menstruation. So because these tablets resembles the tablet that we give to the girls, they mistake it as family planning pills.
But are they giving the whole strip like you are holding, or they are giving one?
This is not what we give to the girls. This is the sachet of what the family planning pills look like.
Okay.
So a woman is given for 28 days, and 3 rows, which is 3 weeks, is for family planning. 1 row is for iron, and they mistake it for what we give. This is what we give is in a bottle like this, and if you remove a tablet, it is It is like this. I don't know whether you see it, but
I can see you, but
pill like this.
I can see you, but I'm just trying to establish the connection here. Why would they mistake it for a birth pill if they are given one at a go?
No, that is why it is a misconception. Because what we give them is not from here. What we give them is from this bottle. But if you look at the size and color of the pill under the birth control pill, it's very similar in color and shape of what we give them. And therefore, they mistake it for a birth control pill. And this has been going on. It is not only for the GIFTS program. Many free supplements that we give, even sometimes we give children the dewormers and other tablets and pills, and people misconstrue it for something else. So in this instance, parents and students misconstrue the tablets that we give them to be family planning tablets. But in actual fact, what we give them is from this bottle, and it contains iron and folic acid, which has been combined into one pill.
That is where my difficulty is, where that misconception came from. But if this is not the first time you are experiencing this as a service, you give out supplementations and people think it is something else. What are you doing to address these misconceptions?
Yes, we have conducted a series of engagements. We have even conducted an engagement where the First Lady of this country has come to talk about the GIFTS program and has explained to queen mothers and parents that the supplement we give to girls is iron and folic acid. And the purpose for giving it is to prevent anemia in these adolescent girls. We all know what anemia can do. It saps your energy, it makes you tired easily, and then you cannot concentrate when you are in school. And ultimately, when you become a woman and you want to bear children, it affects your outcomes during pregnancy. So that is the reason why we are giving it. And we have engaged parents, and this program that we are doing is one of the engagements. We have had a series of meetings, and we continue to have these. So when we started the program, we tried to bring on board parent-teacher associations to explain to them. But what needed to be done was to continue with the engagement, which sort of broke down during the COVID era when schools went on recess. Now that schools are back on recess, the misconceptions have tended to increase, and we are doing more to bring back the program and to make sure that this is not experienced again.
So before the girls are given these pills to take, are they told why they are taking the pills and what is going to do to their body?
Yes, the GIFTS program as we have it. The GIFTS program stands for Girls Iron and Folic Acid Supplementation Program. Has components. We have the in-school component, we have the out-of-school component, and then we have a component where even older women are given the orientation and education to see the need to buy iron and folic acid tablets to take. As part of the component also, we have the health education component, where children in school and even out of school are given education on the GIFTS program, as well as other interventions that will help them prevent anemia. So this goes on in the school. Sometimes you have best intentions. We want the education to go on. Sometimes things happen and find it, so that every girl will understand that the iron and folic acid tablet we are giving is for their own health, is to build their make them more active and make them grow well.
So apart from the misconception that is a birth pill, are there students who refuse to take it for any reason? Or it is mandatory for every girl child to take it?
Yes, for every girl child that doesn't have any health concerns that will prevent her from taking iron is supposed to be taking it. For instance, we know that there are some girls who have some conditions like sickle cell, like thalassemias. They are not supposed to take iron. They are already on their medications, so they don't take the iron and folic acid in school. There are some girls who are anemic. This is prevention of anemia. It is not for treatment of anemia. So at the beginning of the school term, each girl is screened. Those who have severe anemia are referred to the health facilities to go for treatment before they come back and they are put on the IFA, which is given weekly in.
Right. I wanted to know if there are any routine checks that we do to ascertain who is able to take the pill or not. But allow me to ask this: how sustainable is this program, considering the fact that every year
girl is supposed to take the iron and folic?
Right. That was Madam Veronica Korte, Acting Deputy Director of Nutrition at the Ghana Health Service, speaking to us about some misconceptions surrounding the supplement that they are giving to girls who have started menstruating in schools. Our current affairs program Talking Points discussed the ravages of the recent rains, most of which could have been avoided. Many parts of the capital city were flooded. Facilities were submerged and families were displaced. McCarthy Down, Kaneshi Polyclinic, Adabraka, Kwame Nkrumah Circle area, Odona, Wija Barrier and the West Hills Mall area were among the places that got flooded. The panelists on Talking Points recommended proposed solutions.
Land use management, which derives from land administration, and you know how problematic land administration is. These are the catalysts that is fueling our indiscipline in acquiring the lands. And you also have the situation whereby Accra and the urban cities are where there are a lot of economic activities. So everybody is coming into the cities, and once they come, they need shelter. So with the need for shelter, they have to get a place to sleep. And what they do first is to get the land. And we have not mastered the culture of having master plans, where planning precedes actual development. So people go in first, settler goes in first, one building, no utilities, others will join. Then even as others join, there's no infrastructure. Then what happens is that even as they leave those sites, when the rain falls, they take the mud and silt on the ties. Then when they get to the main streets, it dissipates, and you know what, when the rains come, it starts clogging the gutters.
Also, it starts from, we need to develop above flood levels if we want to put up structures. That's why I talked about using professionals. You have to develop above flood levels. Those who have already developed, they should ensure that the drains, especially the tertiary ones, the ones in front of their houses, are always clean. So that they can hold waters. They should desilt them.
Let's head up north now, and still on the flooding situation. Floods swept through Tamale last year and destroyed roads, houses and household items. Last year's disaster is a reflection of development in the metropolis in recent times. Inefficient drainage system, increasing population and poor disposal of waste have conspired to make the metropolis vulnerable. Our correspondent Mutala Issa visited one of the flood-prone areas and now joins us live from Tamale.
Last year, as part of efforts by the Sanargu Municipal Assembly to address the perennial flooding that is experienced in this part of the metropolis. As you can see, this long drain, it comes all the way from town, and this is not just the end, it continues into the houses down there. Unfortunately, apart from this dam or culvert here, the drain itself is just open, and anytime it rains, when water overpowers the banks of this drain, it drifts all the way into the houses we see over there and causes a lot of trouble for residents. For those who are down this drain, it is a major headache during the rainy season. what residents are asking the assembly to do is to find a way of protecting the banks of this drain to ensure that the water does not spill over into houses whenever there is flooding. Behind me, this road leads back to Tamale. This is Fuo, through Senate, and then the Regional Coordinating Council. Then you enter the Tamale town. Somewhere last year, when it flooded, the community ahead of me, Taha and the rest, were completely cut off from the rest of Tamale as a result of the flood. But with the construction of this culvert, things have improved at the section of the road. However, as you move down from where you can see the tricycle coming from, it is still way below the flood line. And so anytime it rains, even though this place is safe, over there is going to be trouble. And the community, as usual, will be cut off. I can see a signage here that indicates that the assembly is constructing more culverts to elevate this part to address the perennial flooding and cutting off of this community. Residents are appealing that it shouldn't just be the construction of a culvert, but they should find a way of protecting the banks of these drains to help with flooding into the various houses in this area. Mutala Isa for GBC News.
Thank you, Mutala. And another issue on our radar is school feeding. The Secretary for the National Association of School Feeding Caterers, Helena Appiah, is asking the government not to relent in fulfilling its promises to pay outstanding arrears this week. They are also pleading for an increase in the current feeding grant from 97 pesos to 3 cedis per child as an inadequate school feeding grant. The caterers say they are making huge losses from cooking hot meals for the children at the current price allocation. Here are excerpts from an earlier interview. We understand you were to be paid your outstanding arrears this week. What is the latest on that front?
From what I know, we were supposed to be paid the week that we went to the management, the latest by Friday, but it didn't come. So as of last week, there was a press release that this Friday, rather, they are going to pay arrears. Meaning that coming Friday? Yeah, coming Friday.
Okay. There are two different issues involved here. Aside paying backlogs, you're also asking the government to pay cities going forward to help you meet the bills.
Yes.
Is it feasible?
That one. For us, the 3 cities, we can manage it because since, the cost of food commodities have gone up. So if the government is able to pay us 3 cities, that one, we can perform better than we are doing now.
Please help us understand how you operate. How are you giving the money?
The contract, you work for 2 terms, they'll pay you 1 term, then there will be outstanding 1 term arrears before you go for another term. But in this case, they owe us 2 terms, they've not paid us, and we are working for another term, which is not helping us.
So for a term, if I could use you as a basis, how much are you given for a term?
You are being paid according to your enrollment, the number of children that you feed, and the number of days that you work. If you don't work for, let's say, 2 days, it will be taken from your money. Let's say if you cook for 300, multiply the number of days that you cooked minus 3 pesos tax from each 1 cedi that is being calculated for you. One child is 1 cedi per a child minus 3 pesos tax. So you end up taking 97 pesos times 300 times the number of days that you work within the term.
I'm thinking this is woefully inadequate. But which markets do you access? Do you go to the normal market that we also do every day to buy your foodstuffs, or like the secondary schools, how they operate? I know that they have the food store where they're giving the foodstuffs to cook with. Is that the same thing?
We are not giving anything. It's pre-finance. You go to market and buy your own foodstuffs and feed the kids. Then at the end of the term, you are being paid. So there's no anything like buffer stock or government funding for us. No. pre-finance. You do the cooking before you are being paid.
For some of these children, the highlight of the day for them is the food that they are given when they come to school. And for some time now, it's been absent. How do you think these children are coping in schools? And how is it even affecting academic studies?
From what I know and from the small monitoring that we have been doing, some of the children don't come to school because there's no food for them. So it has affected the enrollment too as well. Some children do not go to school. They go there purposely. Some do not even go there because of the academic work. They go there because they don't have food in the house and they know school will give them food. So some go purposely to eat. So now that the food is not going, they don't go to school at all. Now we can't do anything. Our hands are tight. Our hands are very tight. Even as we speak, those who have the means are complaining that by the close, in some even today couldn't go because what they have, they used it last week. Others too are saying by close of Friday, their foodstuffs will get finished. And for that matter, if their foodstuffs get finished, that means by the end of this week, if we don't get payment, all of us are going to put our tools down.
Auntie Helena, apart from the 3 cities increase that you are now advocating, what are some of the measures you think should government bring that on board to make the program more successful?
You know, the school feeding is done in districts, communities, and other things. We have who can help the cases so that something good will come out of it. Instead of issuing threats that when you speak out your problem, the school will be taken from you.
Let's head to the courts now. Lawyers for all 14 accused persons standing trial for the alleged roles in the murder of military officer Major Maxwell Adams Mahama have filed submissions of no case to answer to the charges leveled against them. Prosecution on May 16, 2022 closed its case after calling 14 witnesses to testify in the matter. But the accused persons and their lawyers have claimed that no prima facie case has been established against them, which warrant that they should be called to open their defense.
In court on Monday, May 30, 2022, lawyers of the 14 accused persons, including Mr. William Barr, an assemblyman for the filed written submissions of no case to answer. The prosecution has been given 2 weeks to file their response. The court, presided over by Justice Mariama Owusu, a justice of the Supreme Court sitting with an additional responsibility as a High Court judge, has adjourned the case to June 13, 2022. On May 16, 2022, Chief Inspector Samuel Ejakwa, the investigator who was the last to be called, was discharged after the defense lawyers subjected him to scrutiny. The late Major Mahama, the military officer who had been detailed to Dencho Boase in the Central Region for an assignment, was allegedly attacked and killed by a group of youth from the town on the morning of May 29, 2017, when he was on a walk through the town. Reports say his alleged killers claim to have mistaken him for an armed robber because he had a gun strapped to his waist. The first accused person, Mr. William Barr, assemblyman for Dencho Boase, and some 13 others have been charged for murder and abetment. They have all pleaded not guilty to the charges and are standing trial.
Away from the courts, government has disclosed plans to work closely with the private sector in a bid to maximize profits from the Africa Continent Free Trade Area. The Director, Policy Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation at the Trade and Industry, Mr. Michael Opoku-Akrine, stated this at the 6th Ghana Manufacturing Awards in Accra.
The Ghana Manufacturing Awards recognizes companies and individuals for their outstanding performance in stewardship, health, safety and innovation, as well as industrial contribution to the GDP growth of the country.
If we continue focusing on improving the manufacturing and the business environment, we will get more investment and drive the manufacturing sector. Government will continue to work with the private sector to ensure that we maximize and harness the benefits of the AFCFTA for economic development. I entreat you all to be partners in our quest to make this country an economic leader and a manufacturing hub in Africa.
A total of 37 companies and individuals were honored. Azar Group was the painting company of the year, while the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Ghana Limited, Blowchem Group of Companies and Gassam Limited took home plaques for their excellence in various sectors. Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center, B5 Limited and Polytank Ghana Limited were among the top recipients of the awards for the night. Some of the awardees spoke to GBC News.
Over the years, we have learned to increase, do more production and bring new things every year. Last year was our Bellpack tissues, which you saw one this year. We have the Bell cans, and this year we are coming with something great and big. We are investing millions of dollars every year in the Ghana economy because we have faith in the people of Ghana.
The Chief Operating Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Frederick Eduamuako, said more industries must be established to expand the economy.
The annual General Conference of the Association of District Coordinating Directors has taken place at Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Metropolitan, Municipal and District Coordinator Directors were tasked to remain professional, accountable, politically neutral and support the national digitization agenda.
The Association of District Coordinating Directors, established in 2010, is made up of coordinating directors of the metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the country. The idea is to share knowledge, experience and best practices among members and to promote professional standards at the local level. Members meet annually to take stock, brainstorm and plan to enhance the delivery of public services. This year's conference on the theme, Digitalization, a critical tool for transforming MMDAs, brought together coordinating directors from all of the 261 MMDAs in the country. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei Mensah, urged the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Coordinating Directors to embrace technology, which is in tandem with the government's transformational agenda. The head of the Local Government Service, Dr. Nana Atto Arthur, highlighted some challenges confronting the assemblies.
As planning authorities and administrative bodies, proper records management is critical for the effective conduct of work by the regional coordinating councils and MMDAs. However, management of records at almost all levels of the service is in a very sorry state, with the following as setbacks: the absence of approved records management policies and controls to compel staff to apply sound record keeping and records management principles and practices, the absence of approved record classification schemes or filing systems, limited number of records officers in the record class. This situation is further worsened by the absence of a professional class for the records officers. Hence, they are forced to convert to other professional classes upon acquiring additional qualification.
The Asafuhene Achemfo Asafubuachi Adimambusu, who is also Otumfo's Akwemuhene, reminded the coordinating directors of the onerous role they play in the country's development agenda and the need for them to adapt digitization for effective and efficient service delivery.
How are you going to embrace this change to be able to take advantage of the new and emerging technologies that are out there, to be able to assure an effective local governance system in the country? The pride of the country depends on you. We talk about government, but there's no government. Or the central government is not the government, it's you. Because all the day-to-day decisions are made by you.
Back here in Accra, and with regard to the Achimota Forest Reserve and matters arising, including claims that one Owu family are the original owners of the land, and petitioned government for the release of portions of the forest reserve, which is now under investigation. The Ghana Institute of Planners, GIP, is advocating the protection and preservation of the natural environment.
Ghana Institute of Planners, GIP, notes with concern the following: that the decision to declassify the 361.50 acres of the Achimota Forest emanates from a limited appreciation of the uncompromising benefits of urban forest reserves. The GIP, in a news release, noted that the forest provides stable, absorbing carbon dioxide and releases oxygen and serves as a home to some species found on land, a rich variety of life that keeps natural systems running. The entirety of the Achimota Forest is an important public good and a subject of ecological security that ought to be protected by the government of Ghana. The statement from the Ghana Institute of Planners demands from the government, as a matter of urgency, to immediately halt the declassification of the 361.50 acres of the Achimota Forest Reserve as non-forest reserve and adequately consult all stakeholders in compliance with Section 934 of the Land Use and Spatial Planning Act 2016, Act 925. Secondly, the government should direct sufficient non-discretionary funding and action to recover degraded areas and maintain the ecological integrity of the entire Achimota Forest Reserve. Thirdly, the government should publicly commit to enhancing collaboration with stakeholders to halt and reverse forest loss and land degradation in Ghana with definite timelines as a matter of intergeneration equity. The Ghana Institute of Planners, GIP, is an internationally recognized body of professional planners in Ghana.
Alhaji Mohammed Habib Issa Sise is the new zonal imam for the Achima Safo Zongo community in the eastern region. A coronation has taken place for the new imam, who is a public accountant by profession.
The coronation ceremony followed the Dua Islamic funeral of the previous imam, who passed on a couple of weeks ago. The well-attended ceremony was supervised by the Eastern Regional Imam, Sheikh Alhaji Yusuf Hamdani, who performed the ceremony for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, as well as a host of dignitaries, including traditional rulers and imams. The Eastern Regional Imam, who is the administrative head of imams in the region, tied the traditional white turban on the new imam to formally signify his ascension to the imamship. At the same program, Malam Kamal was also installed as deputy imam for Achima Safo. The Eastern Regional Imam then prayed for them and also advised the two, especially Imam Habib Issa Sise, to be selfless in service to the community. The Achima Safo Zongo community is one of the oldest and most vibrant Zongo communities in the eastern region, noted for its diversity and peaceful coexistence with non-Muslims for decades. Alhaji Habib Issa Sise, who was installed deputy imam in 2013, now attends to the imamship 37 years after the death of his father, Imam Isa Abdul Rahman Sise, who was imam of the town until his death in 1985. Habib Isa had his early Islamic education under the tutelage of his late father before advancing further in Nigeria, where he worked as auditor for the Nigerian Guardian newspaper for a number of years before returning to Ghana in the mid-90s. On his return home, he was enlisted in the public service, working as a public accountant at the Treasury headquarters.
News Hour returns shortly with the business segment. Please stay with us.
Hello, it's time for business with me, Esther Edu Ohumeu. The National Insurance Commission has marked the ECOWAS Brown Card Day and the 40th anniversary of the signing of the ECOWAS Brown Card Insurance Scheme Protocol by heads of states of the West African sub-region. The ECOWAS Brown Card Insurance Scheme ensures prompt and fair compensation to victims of motor accidents caused by motorists with foreign registered vehicles from other ECOWAS member states and covered by a Brown Card insurance.
Of the scheme, motorists traveling across their national boundaries had to apply for an extension of the geographical coverage of their motor policies to include the country being visited. This problem was compounded by the cumbersome means by which claims were processed, since there was lack of harmonization of the claims procedures and requirements between countries. The scheme guarantees compensation to third-party victims of cross-border accidents, thereby addressing the problem of motor road accident risk, which previously hindered free movement and trade facilitation in the sub-region. The ECOWAS Brown Card Insurance Scheme, being a private sector-driven scheme, needs supervision and regulation at both the national and sub-regional levels. I urge the motor insurance companies to collaborate with the Ghana National Bureau to ensure speedy processing and settlement of cross-border claims in accordance with the protocol and the Harmonization Convention for Motor Victim Compensation.
With a brown card scheme, it allows you to travel across the West African sub-region with your third-party insurance. What this means is that if you drive to Togo, to Lomé, to Cote d'Ivoire, and you are involved in an accident, your brown card insurance will take care of the insurance. It's not only when you drive outside Ghana. You can be driving in Ghana, driving your car, a Burkinabe truck, a Nigerian car could run into you. It is not your local insurance that will take care of it. It is the brown card insurance scheme that will take care of it.
The United Republic of Tanzania says it expects an increase in the volume of trade between Accra and Dodoma from the current $15.2 million to $22.8 million by 2024. The number of tourists who visit Tanzania annually is also projected to reach an average of 4,500 by the year 2023.
In July 2020, Tanzania reached an important milestone as it graduated from a poor to middle-income country status. A recent report by the International Monetary Fund ranked the country as among the largest economies in Africa with a GDP worth $62 billion. Notwithstanding the adverse impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war on global economies, Tanzania's economic outlook remains positive. The country's real GDP was projected to hit 5.8% in 2022 from 4.7% in 2021. The growth is largely attributed to improved performance in tourism and the reopening of trade corridors following huge investment in transport infrastructure. Tanzania is endowed with important natural resources. It has beautiful beaches, the sixth tallest tree in Africa, and the highest mountain on the continent, the Kilimanjaro. At the forum in Accra, the Tanzanian High Commissioner to Ghana, Dr. Benson Alfred Bana, said Tanzania is a safe haven for investment.
Generally, Tanzania is a relatively peaceful country with almost zero incidents of insecurity challenges. That gives us an environment that if you decide to invest in Tanzania, your capital, your investments are safe and secure.
The president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Clement Osei-Amwaku, indicated that Tanzania is one of Ghana's strongest partners in economic recovery. He emphasized that the AfTA stood to benefit significantly from Tanzania's tourism sector.
It is my honor and commitment that the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and like-minded institutions like our partners in Tanzania and other institutions of the United Republic of Tanzania will initiate discussion for further collaboration.
The forum was under the theme, Taking Tanzania-Ghana Bilateral and Economic Ties to Greater Heights.
Let's have the interbank and commodity figures for the day. On news ahead. Thanks for watching.